This Rise and Shine podcast series has been made possible by the generosity of the Zeidelman Family Foundation, which is committed to the unity and continuity of the Jewish people through meaningful and relevant Jewish education and wisdom.
When a person is in person, the animations of their soul manifest on their face. The way we smile, the way we laugh, the way our eyes look into someone else's, face to face, we confront the essence of our fellow.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold-Davis.
So one of my friends has been navigating the online dating scene now for over a year. Now, she's a woman of depth and substance. She's a beauty by anyone's definition, and she's very clear about what she's looking for. She wants a life partner to grow old with, someone who will share with her the joys and the joys of life. Now, she wants physical chemistry, but she is willing to let it grow and doesn't expect fireworks at first sight. And she's very funny, she's very smart, she's very giving. In short, I think she's the whole package. But what's most remarkable about her, in my opinion, is that she's very forthright. You see, she does not or will not play the game. Now, I'm not sure she would even know how to. And she believes, and I do as well, that there's a lot of timing and lighting that goes into meeting your soulmate, meaning that everything can be perfect, but if one or the other of you is not in the right place for or currently available for true intimacy, then no amount of love or attraction will be enough to move the needle. I actually know a ton of women just like her, and she tells me the stories of who she meets online and how bizarre some of those encounters have been. Well, it's enough to make me say, get thee to the nunnery. But I'm a boy mom, and I know boys, and I know men because of that. I have watched my boys move from childhood into full-blown adulthood, and I can tell you this, there isn't that much difference in the end between what men want and what women want. Men want connection and respect. They want to feel seen and appreciated and cherished, and they are just as easily heartbroken as women are, and in many ways, less quick to recover. And they have ambitions and yearnings as individuals that are socialized to be perhaps different than the things women yearn for, but they have those yearnings nonetheless. But here's the problem. It seems that all dating these days is done online. The false representations and the catfishing and the virtue signaling that can manifest in a virtual setting is 1,000 times worse because of the distance that hiding behind a screen can afford you. But why do people virtue signal and use old photographs and mislead one another online? So there's two possible answers as I see it. I'm going to start with the second one. It's perhaps a little more sinister. And it's that the person has something or someone to hide, that they're looking for a little fun at the expense of other people's hopes and dreams, or they're already in a relationship. But that's a worst-case scenario. But the first is more benign and I think even understandable. You see, many of us are so terrified of not meeting the impossible standards of beauty or power or youth that we've been accustomed to seeing that we feel we won't even have a chance unless we misrepresent, just to get our foot in the door. You know, I understand this. During COVID, I discovered the magic of a touch up my appearance button on the Zoom screen. And coupled with a well-placed ring light, well, I was actually afraid no one would recognize me when I was finally able to meet in person. Like my skin was glossy and poreless, and my makeup was carefully crafted at all times. And forget the fact that, like that scene in Anchorman, I was only dressed nicely from the waist up because I wore pajama bottoms day and night. They were my uniform. And I kept thinking that I should invent this portable ring light that you could wear around your neck, like at all times after COVID. And you know, after the pandemic, I met people who I'd only interacted with online in that two-dimensional state. And While they were either taller or shorter than I expected, sometimes they looked younger or older, there was a component I couldn't have anticipated. You see, when a person is in person, the animations of their soul manifest on their face. The way we smile, the way we smell, the way we laugh, the way our eyes look into someone else's is so different in person. It's like we were kissing through a mask before. Face to face, we confront the essence of our fellow. The word for face in Hebrew is panim, and it's closely related to another Hebrew word, panim, which means interior or inside. You see, the goal of true beauty, our sages teach us, is for the outer face to be an accurate representation of our inner self. The inner face. When we misrepresent, we not only obscure our essence to ourselves, but to our fellow as well. The Torah reminds us not to forget that your face is a reshus harabim, public property. The face has so much power when it's seen clearly. And just because you feel lousy or mad or tensed or depressed, you don't have the right to contaminate the public space with what my bubby used to call your verbissene punim, your miserable face. The Lubavitcher Rebbe once said that when one is besimcha, joyous, one becomes a shining light for those around him. And in Perkei Avot, the Ethics of Our Fathers, we learn that it pays for us to greet everyone pleasantly, that there is great power in a simple smile, a good morning, an enthusiastic response to, how are you doing? With a very upbeat, wonderful, Baruch Hashem. So I shared this because I believe that the weeks of texting and virtual communications on these dating sites without a person-to-person experience can really be nothing more than, listen carefully to this, rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. It's a waste of time and energy. Because if the ship is going down, the ship is going down. Because when you meet someone face to face, the human eye and the human soul pick up on the essence of a person. And one might find themselves attracted or drawn to someone you would never have looked at twice online. Now, folks, my husband looks at me like I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. He sees the real me, even after 37 years of marriage. I think I look better to him now than I did when we first met. But perhaps he needs cataract surgery, who knows, but I'm keeping it. This week, if you or someone you know are dating online, might you consider dispensing the back and forth texting and agree to just meet in person for a 30-minute meet and greet? You don't have to go for a dinner and a movie, a simple cup of coffee or tea in a public place, and maybe preempt the date by saying, listen, you seem lovely and I would like to meet you. And even if there's no chemistry for either you or I, and by the way, that's your get out of jail free pass, you seem like a person worthy of getting to know, so let's do a 30-minute meetup. Anyone can do that. And if we want to see each other again, we'll extend it to a second meeting time. But don't forget that some people are shy or reticent, and you won't see the depths of them right away. Others make a great first impression, but they never follow through. But months and months of texting and flirting without any real-time interaction wastes everyone's time and energy. And bring yourself to these moments knowing clearly that each and every person you meet contains a spark of godliness, a holy soul within them. And that is worthy of respect and recognition, even if you never go out a second time. Just stop with the weeks of texting and bring your panim and panim together with pride, because you're worth it, and so are they.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrienne again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was sponsored by the Zeidelman Family Foundation. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.